Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and this is my 154th Mezco Toyz 112 Collective action figure review, this time being of Atticus Doom. Now, as you can see, the figure comes in that standard Rumble Society boxed packaging with that really cool gold symbol at the center. And if we open the lid, you can see a really great artwork of Atticus Doom. So let's open everything up and see what we got. Okay, so before we take a closer look at the actual figure, this thing does come with a comic book, and you can see it's a full-size comic book, what I do like. But I'm a little disappointed that it doesn't come with a mini comic instead. We've gotten mini comics with these figures before, and I'm a big fan of consistency, so not having this full-size comic book next to all our mini comics that we've received is a little weird for me. Again, this is a very minor nitpick. I'm just saying I wish it would have been in scale, I guess you could say, with the other books I received before, but this is still really cool, great artwork on here. Doom Tales, how did he get his powers, whose side is he on, where is he from, the origin of Atticus Doom. Really cool stuff in here. I love the little promo image right here. Old Salt Aftershave Splash, because I'm a big fan of Old Spice, so I love that right here with the Captain Nemo. And you get some really good artwork, and you can see the story of how he became Atticus Doom and things like that. You even got a little promo image or another little mini comic right here with like some kind of like dimensional suit Doc Knock, which is really interesting, so I'm curious if that'll be a thing. So that's really cool. Again, more images of Atticus Doom, his powers, how they work, all kinds of stuff like that, what the book means, and the different like runes and all that kind of stuff. Really cool too. Again, another short story with Doc Nocturnal here. What I do like is on this next page, what is that? That looks like a Wild West Doc Nocturnal, so I'm hoping that's something maybe we get in the future. I know a lot of us have talked about maybe a Wild West Gomez. Maybe they're going to do a Wild West Doc Knock, so that would be awesome. I love that character. Looking really cool. Little promo images in the back, which is all just makeup stuff. But this is really cool too. Looks like we're going to get a glow-in-the-dark multicolored skull set. So I know a lot of you love collecting the skulls. Some of you are probably sick of them. But this is still really cool. This is always a hint and to show what we will be getting and what we're already getting on the Mezco site. The Atticus Doom Magical Environment Kit. I'm really curious about that, what that's going to be. Another add-on like we got with Doc Nocturnal. So that's going to be really cool. And again, I really like the skulls. I'm kind of a sucker for those. And we get a code up here for all those that want to decipher your crypto cog. We'll see what that's going to be for at a later date. So the comic book's really cool. A lot of fun. A lot of hidden gems in there. So now let's crack the figure open and let him breathe. So now here is our Atticus Doom figure. Now, something I'm going to say, honestly, I wasn't too hyped about this figure. I love Rumble stuff and I love how unique it is, and this figure is definitely unique. I'm going to give it that. But to be honest with you, I'm kind of sick of skull characters. I love the skull pack because those things are optional. But I want, like, I'm guessing at this point it's just, you know, Rumble Society is filled with skull dudes running around the entire world. You know, we have the White Skull Agent and the Black Skulls, and we have the Pink Skulls Chaos Club. Doc Nocturnal has a skull. Atticus Doom has a skull. So I'm guessing that's just the world at this point, you know what I mean? But it still looks cool. I really do like the skull used here. It's completely different than what we've received before. Those really big, deep sockets, which are really nice. I love the sculpt of the teeth. They're not really teeth. They're almost like a swirling, connecting, ghost-like teeth. It's really, really weird, but I love it. Nice little wash on there, too. I love the medallion over his forehead, how it's just kind of swooping up, a little flame coming off it consistently. I don't think you can take that off. I think it's meant to stay there, so that does look really cool too. The soft gloves look really nice. A trench coat looking really good. I love the vest, then the undershirt with the collar and the red looking really nice. I love these little straps right here going across. You got the pants with the belt buckles, really nice shoes. You can actually see what he looks like underneath. He does have some socks on there like that, or excuse me, just a black body, I'm assuming, but you can see how the zip-up shoe works. And there's a very smooth surface. There's like no tread, and I noticed that when I was just trying to stand him up on my shelf, he was slipping and sliding and falling over the place, because I'm guessing because he has no tread there, so might want to use the stand for that. But this still looks really cool, man. The coat right here does have a bendy wire in it, so you can pose that around. Same thing with the strap like that, so that's really cool too. Got the little buckles on there. I love how the right hand, all the right hands on this figure, and standard right hands I should say, do have like an eye sculpted on them, so I think that's really cool too. Now his hat here, I don't know what that thing's called, a turban, is that what it is? Can be removed like this, and then you can see his brain in there, which is pretty gnarly, dude. I think that's so cool. So I don't know, again, I'll have to read the story to know what that exactly is, but the wash on that looks really good. The crazy thing is, this eye is posable, so you can move it around, you know what I mean? So get that, you just have to kind of get your nail in there, and then actually, it does come off like that, so you can see that. The brain entirely comes off, and the eye will come out. So if you want him to hold the eyeball separately, you can do that. And if you want to, you just see that's how the brain looks in there. So that's a very interesting addition that they didn't necessarily need to do, but that's pretty fun and pretty creepy. So moving on to the accessories, we of course get the Mezco stand here, which I always do love. Really cool image of Atticus Doom right there. And of course you do get the clear articulated stand that come with every figure, so I love those. We of course do get interchangeable hands, so you got things like these more open palm hands for like spell casting and things like that. This particular hand right here is actually meant for holding one of his other accessories, which is really cool little cane here. I love how that looks. You can see all the different runes like sculpted on there that look, or like burned in there, I'm not sure, but that looks awesome. You got the skull at the top looking really gnarly, so that's a really cool thing, man. So I love that. And how this works, the way these hands are formed, it kind of just like sticks in there like that, and you'll see it does stay. It's not a super tight fit, but like, I'm moving them around, it's not coming out, so I think that's really cool how they did that. Or you can use it just as a spell casting hand. You know, it works for stuff like that, so I think that's really cool. So I dig that. We of course get things like closed fisted hands. We do get a proper gripping hand for his left side, so that's really cool too. We get this hand right here. Now I want to show this off. So this is going to come off, and that peg is really tight. So we get this hand right here. Actually, you know what? Let me just pop this on right there. That looks awesome, dude. You have this like really nice charred, seared hand that almost looks like it's on fire, which looks really cool. Dig this a lot. But we also do get this really cool fire effect right here, done in translucent orange plastic, looking pretty awesome. Now this is meant to fit in through, you can kind of see the grooves of where the hands and the fingers go, and it is honestly pretty tricky to do. Luckily, the materials of the hand and the flame effect itself are fairly gummy, and this is just a pain in the butt to do on camera, so I'm trying here. But you can do it, you know, again, it is just a little tricky. You gotta get those fingers in there, make sure they slide into the right area, and then you can kind of move the plastic around a little bit. Again, it's a little tricky, and you want to be very careful because you don't want to break any of this stuff. Man, it is actually a total pain in the butt. Okay, so there it goes. You can see how it fits in there pretty good. Again, it's a pain in the butt to get in, but it works out really good, so I do love that a lot. That'll bring us to the next accessories, which are these really cool flame effects as well. They almost look like fireballs, so you probably can't use them, put them in his hand if you like to. But what they are actually for, these are for the eyes. Now, they're a little weird to get in, but you can see these are actually form-fitted to fit in the sockets of the actual figure themselves, so you could probably pop those on like that, get in there like so, and then we'll take another one, because of course he does come with two, pop that in right there, something like that, and just adjust them if you need to, like that. So that's really cool, dude. You know, add a fire effect in the hand, and there you go. I think that looks super dope. That's actually really clever. Then you got the fire effect coming off his little jewel on the thing right there at the top of the head. That's rad, dude. That's a really fun accessory that makes this thing look very unique. Next, we also do get this really cool snake hand with the fingers turning into snakes themselves. I think this is really well done. The sculpting looks amazing. They just work like regular hands. You can't just peg them into the wrist peg like that, but that looks really cool, dude. I love that so much. We also do get this really cool like crab-like hand or lobster hand with the articulated claw like that. That is super cool. This is the kind of stuff that, like, it's so different and so unique and so weird. This is the kind of stuff why I love what Mezco is doing with Rumble Society and the original IP stuff. So that's really rad too. So really great accessory there. And again, all this stuff just does peg into the standard hands via the wrist peg like that. And it works out really good. So you can do all kinds of cool things with that. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this off right now. We do get this really interesting like smoke effect, which is really nice. So this thing is like this big almost loop of smoke, and this is actually meant to go over the neck right here, and then you can put the head back on like that, just to give him a little more of a mystic vibe to him. You know, like he has this misty smoke swirling around his head, which I think is pretty cool. I really actually surprisingly like that. It's asymmetrical. It's not supposed to fit. It's not supposed to be balanced in any way. It's kind of just supposed to be all over the place, swirling and things like that. So I think that's actually a really fun accessory as well. Take that off, put this on here, looking really good. Okay, now we're gonna move on to his more magic type accessories here. We got these really cool effect pieces that look really awesome, done in this really nice neon translucent green, looking really good. I'm gonna darken it up so you can see that a little better. But you can see how that we have like a Cthulhu type symbol in the middle, and then all different types of runes surrounding it, looking really good. And then same thing with this. You get, oh, I think this is upside down right there. You get more of this sort of like almost like a Cthulhu Cyclops type of symbol going on right there. Really cool. And how these are done, you can see a little peg on the back there. Very much like if you have the Dr. Fate figure from Mezco, these pretty much work that exact same way. So what you're going to do, you're going to get all these extra little attachments and different types of stands. We have the ones like this that are going to clip all around the wrist. So if you want to take one of those, you could peg this into there like that. And that works out good. Now this is a little pain in the butt. These are on ball pegs, so you can actually maneuver these around and things like that. These actually do go over the wrists of the actual fabric if you want to. Or actually, you know what? I don't have a hand on here. I'll just put it on this side like this for now, just to show you how this works. So that will stay over the fabric, and it will clip on there fairly easily. So you could do that if you want to, or just take the sleeve off and try and fit it that way. I just worry that this clip right here is going to mess up the fabric. You can kind of see how it's kind of pinching the fabric already. So just be very careful with what you're doing and how long you're doing this for. You know, this could be a pain in the butt. And then you get a little stand right here that can be pegged into a little base like so, a little mini stand that has a little attachment on there. And you can do all different kinds of things with it. You have a little L plug, or this side right here can plug in like that. And then the same thing, you could plug in effect pieces like that if you want to. So that's really cool too. We also get, which I think is really cool, this effect piece. This is really awesome. This little swirly piece is meant to be plugged into the actual wrist peg itself. So you could do that like so. And get that on there nice and secure. So that's really cool. So now you can use that just as is. Maybe he's protecting some type of spell or something like that. That works really cool. But we also do get this secondary piece. And you can see it has a little peg on it. That's because it is technically a second wrist with the actual soft goods on there. I think that's genius. And then you could take things like maybe that claw hand, take that and pop that in there like so, open that up, and then you could plug this into the stand like this, if I can actually do it. And then you can make it look like he's sticking his actual hand into some type of portal and making it reappear somewhere else and doing some crazy stuff with that. I think this whole thing right here is genius. That is just a lot of fun. Again, very unique, man. That's what I'm loving about this. So that right there is pretty cool. So I dig this. So next we do get this really cool looking book. I love this, man. That really dark green with that wash all over it. You can see the gold trim on the sides with a little bit of silver on there. The binding looks really cool. You can see that more of that Cthulhu logo looks really nice. And the same thing with the back. It's actually the actual back of that image that we saw over here. So you got the front of the Cthulhu and then the back of that Cthulhu. That's really cool. You even got a little bracer right here that's that clipping this together, holding this thing together. And if you open it up, you get an actual book with actual papers in it, which is insane, dude. That is, again, the detail that I love that Mezco puts into some of their figures is insane, and that makes me absolutely love this line. What's also really cool, it comes with this piece that we saw again with the Dr. Fate. It's like a piece that you can slide the book on through like that. It's a little pain in the butt here. Can I clip that on? Figured it out. Something like that. And then you can kind of open the book up and then attach it to this thing over here like that, and you can make it seem like the book is floating, kind of stuff like that. Oh, like, I don't know, but that's what it's for. So I think that's a really cool accessory. Again, this book is just badass, man. I believe Dr. Fate even came with a book, so you could get your own little Mezco library going on, because these are really well detailed. So now the last accessories, which are going to be my favorite accessories. I'm going to pop this head off because he does come with an alternate head. He comes with this incredibly badass Cthulhu monster-like head. Oh my god, dude, this thing is insanely beautiful, insanely detailed. I can see it's this really dark, glossy green, very muddy looking. You can see kind of like airbrushes of red in there to give it that, you know, natural feel to it. The tentacles are on the face, on the mouth look really good. The eyes look so creepy, so beautiful, man. It's so gross and slimy looking. Got the veins on top. I mean, this just looks awesome, dude. Even on the inside of the tentacle, you can see how it's all fully sculpted. It looks really cool. And like I said, I'm kind of over the whole skeleton characters or skull characters in the world. So I think for me, on my shelf, he's going to be displayed like this with that head because it's so different and weird, and I think it's just super well done. But for this, you could also have more hand attachments in the form of like these octopi, you know, tentacles, which are really badass. And these just plug into the hands like normal hands that you would see. If I can actually do it here. All this stuff is always so hard to do on camera. I wish you guys knew how difficult this really was. And get that on there like that. And I love all the little crust right there around the edges of it, and you can see how wild and crazy that is. That looks really cool too. But we also do get this longer one as well, which I think is so good, dude. I'm gonna get that on there like that. Again, such a pain in the butt to do on camera, so I apologize. I'm sure you guys like watching me struggle with this type of stuff, so that's really cool too. And you can see that as well, so you can get some really interesting things to do with this, because I love this so much. That's so rad, dude. This is a bit of a bendy wire, so you can like pose it around a little bit. You can feel the bendy wire in there. So it doesn't go all the way to the tip because this is a little more rubbery right here, but definitely from right here to here, it's all bendy, so you can help pose that around. But yeah, man, options, always for more options. And again, since I'm personally a little tired of the skull characters, this is definitely going to be my Atticus Doom on my shelf. So now moving on to articulation. The head is on a double ball peg, so it rolls around very, very nicely. It does turn left and right, up and down, and pivot side to side, so that works out really good. Arms can go all the way up, all the way down, up and out to the side. It does feel like there's a bit of a butterfly joint in there. Maybe there's just a gapping where the shoulder joint is. We can rotate up there. We got double jointed elbows, rotation at the wrist, as well as a hinge at the wrist. We do get a double ball peg in the midsection, so this rolls around, does rotate at the waist, pivot side to side, crunches back and forth a decent amount. Hips kick forward that far, back about that much, rotation in the upper thigh, we got double jointed knees where he can kick himself in his own butt, and we do get ball pegs at the ankles, so those roll around, rotate up and down, and a decent ankle rocker. And his hand fell off. Sometimes with all this material here, it kind of bunches up, so it can be a little tricky to get the hands on, so you just got to work it around. So, and this jacket can come off, you know, I don't want to. It's really just a long sleeve shirt under there. I don't need to, but you can do it if you want to, so that's something that's there for you guys. But I think this character is a lot of fun. I personally would have done things different. You know, I'm not a big fan of the trench coat and just slacks, you know, and a vest. I feel like we've seen that before. I was hoping maybe something a little more mystical, like some robes or something like that. I think that would have been cool, but I get what they were going for. Kind of like a mystical noir thing. I get it. So it's still rad. Again, really fun. So much unique things about this. He's pretty amazing, man. Probably not going to be for everybody, but I'm still enjoying it, and he is definitely a must-get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is sitting next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and Mafex Batman figure. Also for comparison, here he is sitting next to a Mezco 112 Collective Vapor and Doc Nocturnal. And for even more Mezco comparison, here he is sitting next to the 112 Collective Dr. Fate and Doctor Strange. And just for fun, here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of Atticus Doom. Now I think this is a very fun figure. I love all the different accessories like the interchangeable head, the interchangeable hands from the tentacles, to that crab claw, to the snake hand. All that stuff I think is amazing. The detailed book is ridiculously cool. I love the flame effects. I love the spell effects where you can plug in an extra hand and make it look like your hand is teleporting. I think that's really awesome. This whole thing is just a lot of fun. They really went all out and just gave us all kinds of cool mystical stuff, which I think is great. And I'm going to be very honest right now, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion. The character himself and the design himself of just the base character, to me, is kind of boring, honestly. He's just another dude in a vest wearing a trench coat with slacks and shoes, with another skull head. Again, at this point, I kind of think that's just a Rumble Society thing. That's something we're just going to have to get used to. But he kind of looks like a very basic character. Now, I was hoping for something just different. You know, maybe that was just me. Maybe you guys are absolutely loving it, and that's cool. The quality of the soft goods of the figure are actually very well done. And I really do like the skull head that we do get here. It does look really cool, especially with the brain and the eye feature. I think it's really rad. Again, it's just me. I was very picky about that, and I just didn't want another skull character. I wanted something more unique, but it's still well done. Again, this piece is a lot of fun. You can get so many different display options and poses. I mean, there's just so many cool things you can do. Pop another head from another figure on here and you get what you want. I think it's great. I'm still super stoked I picked him up, and I'm really excited to see if we're going to get some type of expansion pack from that little teaser from the comic book. That's all really cool. Again, fun piece, fun action figure, and another great addition from Mezco. So be excellent to each other, and stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.